So this video is probably a little bit overdue, but let's talk about ROTC rank. What's up, friends? So what has it been, maybe a year or so since recording this video, at least, that I made the enlisted rank video, the warrant officer video, and the officer rank video, but I have not yet explained how ROTC rank works. So keep in mind, we are talking about ROTC here, as West Point has their own rank structure. OCS doesn't really have a rank structure. It's really just they're an OCS cadet and everybody's kind of just on the same level. So we're specifically talking about ROTC. Maybe at a later point in time, maybe I'll do West Point rank. And if you are not familiar with what the heck ROTC is, well, it's just one of the three main ways that a person goes about becoming an officer in the United States Army. So ROTC is the Army's Reserve Officer Training Corps, and it says reserve in there, but don't think that it's only for reservists. Basically, what this is if a college offers an ROTC program, then an individual goes to school to get a bachelor's degree, and while they're in that 4-year college, they're also doing a lot of military stuff. I have a little bit better of an explanation of it in the officer video, not super in-depth, but I do explain a little bit of how the ROTC program kind of works in that officer video. The rank structure in ROTC is their own kind of little set way. It does follow a very similar path that actually being in the Army has, and has some similar names, but the insignias don't really look anything like the actual insignias when an officer is actually commissioned. They also have an enlisted side to their rank structure, like a private type of thing, as well as a non-commissioned officer and an officer side. They just don't have a warrant officer side. And then also the officer side of the rank doesn't go all the way up as high to general and everything like the actual commissioned officer rank goes to. So let's just get into it. Let's talk about how rank structure actually works in ROTC now. So in order for an individual to advance through the rank structure of ROTC, it's really based on their knowledge, their potential, their grades. If you have a 2.0, then maybe you're just gonna kind of advance at a normal rate, where if you have a 3.0 grade point average and you're doing a lot of the extra activities that they want you to do in ROTC, then you might kind of flow through the rank a little bit faster than someone who's kind of doing the bare minimum. And promotion's going to, fluctuate between college to college. So, that leadership may have one set kind of standard that they're looking for before they promote someone to the next rank, and another college may have their own kind of set standard before being promoted to the next rank. So kind of be aware of that. Mainly is what I'm explaining here is what the ranks are called and what they look like. So when an individual is first starting off, they're just a basic cadet. It's not really a rank. I mean, it kind of is, but it's the first beginning rank area before they move up into actually having an insignia type of thing. So then from there, an individual would move up to a Cadet Private. Now, a lot of these names have very similar names to actually, enlisted and officer ranks that are in the Army, but they just kind of add cadet to the beginning of them. Because then after a Cadet Private is a Cadet Private First Class. Now, normally in the Army, that would be followed up by a specialist, but they do not use the specialist rank in the ROTC program. They move to Cadet Corporal. And that now makes that cadet a junior non-commissioned officer. From there, you go to a Cadet Sergeant, followed by a Cadet Staff Sergeant. Still kind of following the same enlisted pattern, you go to a Cadet Sergeant First Class, and then to a Cadet Master Sergeant. You then have a Cadet First Sergeant, followed by a Cadet Sergeant Major, and then lastly a Cadet Command Sergeant Major. And that really kind of rounds off the enlisted side of the cadet ranks. Now, from some of the stories that I've heard, commonly those ranks kind of go from your freshman year to your sophomore year, and then after your sophomore year, now you start moving into the officer ranks of ROTC. But I don't know if that's a concrete thing. That's just some of the stories I've heard from some people that have been through ROTC of their experience. Some people may have different experiences at different ROTC academies. So next we go into the officer side, which basically follows the same kind of structure that is actually for a commissioned officer, but only maxes out at a certain point, and we are also adding cadet to the name. But the insignias do not look anything like the actual insignias when you're actually commissioned into the Army. So you start off with a Cadet Second Lieutenant, followed by a Cadet First Lieutenant. That then goes to a Cadet Captain, followed by a Cadet Major. And then from there you go to a Cadet Lieutenant Colonel, and the very last rank, which is a Cadet Colonel. That is the highest rank that you will achieve while you're in ROTC. And that's really it. Those are the ranks that are involved in ROTC. Like I said, the progression through that, It just kind of really depends on the actual college itself, on how they do their promotion scales and at what level you move from one rank to another rank. But that is what the names are called. Like I said, very similar to actual ones that are in the Army. And the insignias, really the only one that's kind of close is really the private rank is really the only one that's kind of close to the actual rank that is in the Army. Everything else is mostly different. Maybe have a little bit of similarities here and there, but very different from the actual ones, to be able to distinguish from a individual that is an ROTC compared to an individual that is actually a commissioned officer or non-commissioned officer or enlisted soldier in the Army. So there you go. That is the cadet rank for ROTC. If you're interested in the rank for the West Point Academy, then maybe show me some love down in the comments that you're interested in that. If anyone out there is currently in ROTC, maybe they've been through ROTC, I'd love to hear how fast you moved through some of these ranks as you went through and progressed through your education in college and the ROTC program. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to check out some more, I got these guys over there, as well as some great links down in the description to my social media and even my Patreon. If you enjoy this type of content and want to make sure you get more, then make sure you subscribe to the channel and enable notifications that you're alerted when I do my live streams. I'm ChristopherChaos. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya.